My name is Melissa Cruz, and I just want to take this time to just get to know a little bit about you and a little bit about your background, and keep it straightforward if that's okay with you.
Absolutely.
All right, Ryan.
My initial background is in kinesiology, exercise science from the University of Houston. And I've done some of my studies and work at the University of Houston downtown. And that was with the purpose. I knew that I was going to be going into a wellness type of career. I knew I wanted to do something active, be involved in that space. And I have led that life with a few expansions to that process, because I've gotten to be on safety, I've gotten to be in leadership, and had the opportunity now to be to work for schools in kind of a public health format as a risk solutions, and now going forward to get a master's in public health and health promotions with only a quiz left to take. So just very happy that I've got to lead in a career based on a vocation, a calling. So that's what I've gotten to do in this years.
That's awesome. So one quiz left and you're there, huh?
I know.
That's cool. That is amazing. I have prepared a couple of questions in advance, so I'm just going to go straight from the questions. The very first one, what led you to work in a corporate environment versus the usual gym type of environment?
Oh, that's a good question. I actually was at wonderful gym environments, namely one that University of Houston downtown. I also got to work at Fit Athletic for a while, but I wanted an experience. There was a difference of, I wanted an experience of being able to put together the entire degree as a business. I wanted to run a facility, manage individuals and their behaviors for their growth, but also help with leading teams do that as well. And I didn't get to do that by simply being isolated to, okay, Ryan's here at this gym as a trainer. If I'm at a corporate level, that's how it works. But I didn't do that on my own. I've went to help a friend. This is why it's always great to continue helping people and serving. I went to help a friend. He said, Ryan, why don't you come by to my wife's gym? I don't have the time. I got to pick up the kid and I have to go into the office. He was a very well-to-do friend. And I went by his spot. And when I walked in, because I met a good friend of mine, Karina, who had been in fitness and wellness with me. And she said, Ryan, why don't you come work in this environment? I said, is this an opportunity that we can take? She said, yeah. She said, just bring me. She said, go back to your car and get me a resume. I'm sure you got one. And I'll give it to my boss. Next thing I know, I was in corporate fitness and wellness. I didn't even know they had facilities like that. I didn't know that there was real facilities. That was new. I'm getting a little old, so that was new during that time. And so it was interesting to watch out. That was around 2003, 2004. So very cool to be able to get in there. And that corporate world allowed me access to not only see what you could do in the gym, but to see what you could also do for people who will never come to the gym.
That's awesome. That's a great way to look at it differently, for sure, because, you do kind of get stuck in that, gym atmosphere if that's all that you're used to. So that's definitely eye-opening there. How do you stay connected to key influencers in the community?
I love that. Service. As much as you can serve. One guy I'll say is a key influencer to me is Rich Sebastiani. One of the things that he does is he always goes back and speaks at the universities. He's always helping out. And I made sure that I just always keep an open relationship and communication. And we actually spoke at a similar event together back as students, and I keep getting called back to that event. So staying connected to the people that you already work with in a genuine, authentic manner, keeping them on the phone call list, keeping them on your LinkedIn, checking on them when it's not transactional, when it's not just transactional, but transformational. And that's been the key for me. I'll even, a good friend of mine that I work with, he works with nonprofits and also works with having females go into engineering career. He's also done a lot in African American leadership, Hispanic leadership, and he's done all of those areas. And what I do is I stay connected to a guy like that by being in a reading book club with him, an investment group with him, sitting down and having regular conversations, and just simple walk and talk lunches. So that's something I would give that to anybody who's doing anything in leadership or businesses. Stay connected to people authentically.
That's awesome. Do you ever find, don't have this one written down, but it just came up. So do you ever find yourself having difficulty trying to stay in touch with those people that you've created those partnerships with?
Oh yeah, absolutely. But it's normally based on the fact that I understand that we all get busy, but I've kept an authentic relationship with them. So it's not one of those things where they go, well, Ryan hasn't called me or I haven't heard from them in a while. I'll just simply send it. It'll be a check-in. I'll go on LinkedIn and be able to have it. And if I have their personal number, then I'll, hey, just checking on the kiddos. How's the family going? I know this is a busy time. Let me know how you're doing. And is something I can do to help you with? Do you have an event going on? How can I help you serve in it?
Wow.
A good friend of mine, Raymond, is over Hope Active, and he has a church in the community, Restoring Hope. By the way, that's a great name of a church. And he has Hope Active, which is not connected to the church. It's a nonprofit. He helped me in my school assignments on a nonprofit for the Masters of Public Health. But he also will tell you quickly, Ryan asked how he could serve. I helped by singing on the event, bringing my wife over. He had books suggested that he needed for marriage class. I want you to have real examples. That's how I had the chance to. It wasn't always my time. It was what I could also offer him. I could offer him research. And often my number one way is find out how you can serve that person in the areas that they may need, and you will always stay connected.
Wow.
People usually need help in some way. So, if you can help man the table of the event they have, usually you can bring your family to the stuff. Most of the time you find out when you're helping people like that, you can even bring your families and kids to all those types of things. So that's how it works out for me. I really appreciate that and keeping it authentic and real.
Awesome. That's really good words of advice. I may actually use this video for, work purposes, Ryan. I'm just telling you. All right. Let me ask you, I have two more questions. If there is one bit of advice you could give to a young rising professional, what would it be?
Oh, okay. That's a great one. Number one, believe in yourself. And if you're having trouble with that, know that everybody is. Believe in yourself and always have a growth plan. And that's not a happenstance. A growth plan will include intentionality. It will include you to reach out to people that you've never reached out to before. It will include you taking care of the things that you currently have in your life, including fitness, your well-being, your home and household, and managing how you are growing and developing as not only a academic individual, but as a person. And it includes all manners of it, your faith, your community. What are you doing that you're improving on? Did you want to run certain marathons, and what was the reason that you wanted to do it? Do you want to build a relationship with Melissa Crute? Why do you want to build that relationship with her? And when you do so, how is it that you're serving the needs that she has? And that's how what is your growth plan developing you on? And what are your categories? Financial, educational, put the categories together. A great book for that is, and I promise I didn't just have this ready, but 48 Days to the Work You Love. Having stuff like Dan Miller at hand and having, whether you like the whole book or not, go into the, which I already have marked. I promise this is not for the interview. The achievement section, 7 achievements, and having areas based off of that. Going into Brian Young's book, getting more knowledge in every area, in every way. That's going to be the key. But keeping a growth plan. Believe in yourself, keep a growth plan. Because that'll cover a lot.
That is awesome. And I was actually going to ask you about a book, so I'm glad you brought that one up. But, all right, last question. Have you ever thought about opening your own institution?
That's so amazing. So originally, that was I wouldn't call myself an entrepreneur. I remember the first time I heard that word, it was ironically very young. It's popular now, but a good friend of mine who is very successful, Lee Jackson, we both moved into, we are both inner city kids who did not come from much. We both moved into Pearland, which is a very exceptional district in suburb in Houston. And we both moved in with not much else, but he had a cool knowledge from his father who was in the academic world. And Lee said to a teacher in the class when she asked, what do you want to do? He said, I want to be an entrepreneur. That was the first time I heard that word. Well, so I never considered myself that. I had, my mom and dad just work hard. Just work hard. But I did start thinking about that. And I will tell you, initially I thought about that because I thought this is the only way you could go in fitness. I said, if you're going to do fitness and wellness and you're going to get a fullness out of your degree, because if you go get a kinesiology degree, it's more than just training people. It's got a great breadth. It's a lot of science. And so there's even a business component to it. So here I am. I learned all of the behavior-based stuff. So I said, let me get a position where I've learned all I can from the gyms I go to, corporate, and then get build out a facility of my own. And so that's the things I thought about for years and haven't thrown it to the shelf. Now I think more of how could I go to other businesses and help them in their business, because I see how that works. I see how they call me into colleges to come speak to their groups of master's students who are from ethnic backgrounds, who need support in the knowledge of them. They want a panel of how did you do this? And so I said, oh, that's a business. You come into a business and you coach people up on how to do their presentations, how to deliver the behavior base. You coach a facility up on understanding their numbers, the statistics, and knowing their win areas and their gaps and how they can improve that, especially in your field of knowledge. So I have now really begun to think about that. I won't lie, that's my latter years. So I tell anybody that's young, think on those things. Get Entree Leadership by Dave Ramsey. Go find out about financial peace early, which means your financial literacy. Find out about that stuff early, even if it's scary, because you will temper some of that fear of starting stuff if you understand how your finances need to be adjusted to get going. I learned it later in life, obviously, but now that's something that I have rethought about as a speaker. I do have a DBA that I got down in downtown, very recent to connecting with you, and is Boyce Speaks. So you do go out and go get things. You can and first take the first step. Go to your college course and get the coursework done. Reach out to a Melissa or Rhonda and say, can I come out and help do this? And I'll just take the research down and I'll look at the information for you. How can I support you with it? You want paid? No, I just want to learn how to do it. If I can get out there and do it. Ryan, I'm coming out to speak. Well, Ryan, you do come out to speak. We're going to pay you for that. Cool. And then you begin to build off of that. And I tell people that you can always work on your dream while you work.
Wow. That is amazing.
Nothing wrong with that. Work on your dream while you work.
Wow. That's some very good insights and some very helpful information. That is actually all of the questions I have. So I want to thank you for your time and the opportunity to speak with you. I think you are phenomenal, an excellent mentor, and I'm sure we'll be in touch a lot.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
All right, Ryan. Thank you.
I'm going to stop it right here. Okay.